Nothing compares to the sensation of looking back at the beginning for a dreamer like Sofronio Vasquez, whose protracted and uncertain path culminated in a well-earned triumph on a worldwide singing competition. It's a lovely reminder of how far he's come to revisit the events that molded his skill and led to his success. This is why he had so much fun in Copamelia Chat's Rate and React segment. He went back in time, watched his old performance videos from Tawaging Tangalan on It's Showtime, the stage where he first began to establish himself in the local entertainment scene, gave each one a rating, and shared interesting behind-the-scenes information. In February 2016, Sofronio made his stage debut as a proud representation of Mindanao, notably Misamis Occidental, on Tawaging Tangalan, Ikalawang Yugto. With a swoon-worthy rendition of Eric Bennett's The Last Time, he stunned everyone and took home the daily round. He couldn't help but grin and squirm at his own fashion as he rewatched the moment that changed his life, saying, "Anong damit yun?" He revealed a fascinating fact. The Last Time was the only song he practiced for that round. And he gave this performance a strong 9 out of 10, really pleased. Regretfully, Sofronio's first effort in Tawaging Tangalan, Ikalawang Yugto's second quarter did not result in victory. But he never faltered in his resolve. In the third quarter of 2017, he came back stronger and saw more success. His stirring performance of Shirley Bassey's I Who Have Nothing, which received a standing ovation from the jurados and won him the title of defending champion on November 14, 2017, was one of the season's highlights. During his TNT heyday, Sofronio was much thinner, and it wasn't simply because he was younger. At the time, he thought that being physically attractive was necessary to win a televised competition, so he purposefully abstained from eating in order to seem thinner on TV. His viewpoint has now shifted. Although he still places a high value on maintaining his fitness for health reasons, he no longer allows such norms to guide his decisions. He acknowledged that when he thought back on his performance, his high-note vocal range had changed. Thus, he rates this as 7.5 out of 10. Sofronio had an absolutely amazing adventure during the third quarter of Tawaging Tangalan, Ikalawang Yugto. He qualified for the semifinals after successfully defending his champion title 6 times. He advanced to the Huling Tapatan thanks to his continuously outstanding results, but despite his best efforts, he finished 8th and was once again denied the opportunity to win the Grand Championship. Sofronio didn't stop there either. He came back to participate in the TNT All-Star Grand Riesback, reaching the second round. On the first day of the week-long competition, he sang a moving rendition of Rico J. Puno's Lupa. Sofronio awarded himself a strong 9.5 out of 10 for the effort. He remarked on the enhanced smoothness and maturity of his voice. Although his on-stage delivery seemed natural, the true tale of the performance shows that it was difficult for him. It was tough, Sofronio remembered, and at first he had asked the band to cut the key in half. The band, regrettably, forgot and performed the original higher key. Sofronio needed to think quickly and just push through the higher notes since he didn't have time to adapt. Sofronio is inspired and grateful as he reflects on his experience. Masarap Balakan because of the occasions that are a great illustration of a dreamer. I never would have thought that I would be here, talking to you as The Voice USA winner since I was so inspired by Tawaging Tangalan. He so strongly advises other hopefuls to follow their aspirations. You will succeed if you are determined to do so. Nanalo nga ako, he grinned, adding that you could succeed if he could. When Tawaging Tangalan, TNT fans hear the name Sofronio Vasquez, they instantly recall his passionate and powerful vocals that left audiences spellbound. Known for his commanding stage presence and emotional delivery, Sofronio became one of the most memorable contestants in the history of the singing competition. Recently, we sat down with him to reflect on his journey and rate some of his most iconic performances. Here's how he graded himself, sharing insights, behind-the-scenes stories, and what he learned from each performance. Hiling was my gateway into the competition, and it remains close to my heart. I chose it because it mirrors the emotional depths I love to explore in music. Singing this heartfelt ballad by Mark Carpio was a deliberate decision. I wanted to capture the judges' attention by showcasing vulnerability and control. It was nerve-wracking. My hands were trembling, but I poured every ounce of my emotions into each lyric. Sofronio recalls that this performance set the tone for his musical identity in the competition. I give it a 9 out of 10 because, looking back, there were technical flaws. My vibrato was a bit shaky at certain points, but the authenticity carried me through. If I could do it again, it'd work on better breath control. Superstar by the Carpenters is a deceptively difficult song. I wanted to challenge myself by delivering something tender yet powerful. The song required me to balance delicate phrasing with strong, sustained notes, and I loved the emotional narrative of longing and unrequited love. It's a story anyone can relate to. Despite his strong connection to the piece, Sofronio admits that he would have approached the ending differently. My transitions could have been smoother. I pushed a little too hard on the climactic high notes, losing some of the softness that makes the original version so haunting. But it was still one of my favorite performances because I learned how to temper my power with restraint. When I think about performances where everything aligned, Hang Gang by Wency Kerneo stands out. I still feel chills remembering how the audience responded to that moment. This was my make-or-break performance, and I had to deliver it with precision, heart, and power. I spent hours working on the dynamics, shifting from tender whispers to a full-blown emotional crescendo. Every part of me was connected to the song. Sofronio considers this performance a personal triumph. I'd give myself a perfect score here because everything felt seamless. The emotional delivery, vocal control, and connection with the audience were all on point. It was one of those rare times when I felt fully in the zone, lost in the music but still conscious of every note. Aerosmith's I Don't Want to Miss a Thing is such a monster of a song, epic, emotional, and vocally demanding. It's one of those pieces where you either soar or crash. I took a risk with it because I wanted to show my versatility. The pressure was immense, and it might have gotten the better of me at certain points. Reflecting on this performance, Sofronio is candid about his struggles. I pushed too hard in the higher register and the strain affected my tone. My breath support faltered and I could hear the tension in my voice on playback. But it was a huge learning experience. Sometimes ambition can outweigh technical readiness, but I don't regret taking the leap. I'd rate this one a 7 because the energy was there, but the execution needed polish. When it came to the grand finals, I knew I had to deliver something unforgettable. It by Regine Velasquez is one of the most beautiful, challenging OPM ballads, and it demands every bit of vocal control and emotional depth. I chose it because it perfectly encapsulates love, longing, and devotion, themes that resonate deeply with me. Sofronio gave everything he had in this performance, and it remains one of his proudest moments. The build-up to the final note was everything I had envisioned, a slow, deliberate climb that bursts into a powerful declaration. My voice soared, and I could feel the emotion vibrating through every fiber of my being. The only reason I wouldn't give it a perfect 10 is that I always feel there's room for growth. Perfection is an illusion in music, there's always something new to discover. This was a bold, dramatic choice. Tackling an operatic aria like Nessun Dorma is not for the faint-hearted. It was my way of showing that I'm not just a balladeer, but a versatile vocalist willing to push boundaries. The challenge was exhilarating, but the technical demands were immense.